Well, I'm Brandon, and I've been involved with Easter Seals, Newfoundland and Labrador since the age of 2. And back in 2022, I was appointed the ambassadorship. It was life-changing for me.
And I'm Brian Keynes. My experience with Easter Seals extends to my knowledge of Brandon, which is about 1.5 years. They're a really fun spot that he comes to usually twice a week, either for basketball or bocce or social activities. During my interview with Brandon's parents, I mentioned in passing that, if I work with you, we can run the telly together, because he had done it with his parents. And held me to my word, so we ended up running it together. But I also reached out to George Stenoff, who is the director of the Telly 10, and I asked him about the policies. So there was a lot of restrictions in place for safety, right? So I had a chat with George. I said, George, can we run it? Can he experience running it full tilt, and be with the leaders of the pack and all that? And he made an exception and said, Brian, I trust you and that you're going to be safe with Brandon and whatever. It was very freeing, and I wanted to give him the experience of racing it.
I just wanted to say that it was a pretty freeing experience as well, to be able to be given the opportunity to do the Telly 10 with Brian and just see that we could do this together, as a team.
Yeah, it was a lot of work for Brandon as well, holding himself up, because the road is cambered both ways. So his body was being tossed to the side. So it was a lot of work for him for an hour to actually hold his posture, fight against being tossed to the sidewalk. So it was definitely a team effort, and his spirit through the whole thing, he was just chatting and happy and hooting and hollering with the crowd and stuff. And my favorite part, I think, was at the very end when I just spent, and Maria Chafe, she ran a really good time. She's early 20s, and she ran 1 hour and 2 minutes, and we ran 1 hour and 5. So because of the 3-minute head start, we were racing at the end. And I'm not sure which one was ahead or not, but she had a fantastic time. But we actually felt like we were racing the whole time.
The hippocamp was an amazing device, and it was very fitting given the conditions of the road and the conditions of the day. And certainly it was very secure as well, which is a great thing when it comes to safety involved. My favorite moment was crossing the finish line. Just to know that we accomplished something together as a team so well. I think again it comes back to the idea of having the opportunity and freedom to do such a great event is certainly very amazing in its own right as well. For me, I only have one word to say, and that's just try. You don't know until you try, right? So why not just give it a shot? Certainly, I'd like to thank all the race directors, all of the staff at Easter Seals and Ale for all their great guidance on using the hippocamp, and it was a great device to use for safety.
Yeah, I want to thank the organizers of the Telly 10 and the organizers of the Trailway Trek, the CBS, the first half marathon that they've put off out there, and for giving us an opportunity to participate in the races where they had to make allowances for us in order to make it work and make it safe for everybody, right? The idea of inclusion. And also being open to new ideas, of how we participate and the scope of what they're willing to let us attempt, right? So I'd like to thank St. John's, Mount Pearl, his family, and Brandon himself for actually being up for these things, for being why not, right? Had that attitude as opposed to I can't do this or I can't do that. He's well, why can't I do this or that?
Absolutely, thanks man for helping me out.